To all of you. As you prepare, some of you to drive to a small pod Thanksgiving somewhere far away, or you are already there and listening to me on a different platform. Maybe you're watching on Facebook this morning. Good morning. On YouTube. Good morning. If you're watching on Instagram, good morning. The biggest story of the day, which I will come to in a moment, concerns the Dow Jones Industrial Average going over 30,000 points yesterday and closing at 30,040 something. It's really a remarkable thing, and it's a testament to America. 30,046. In fact, let me do the market report early, brought to you by Birch Gold. And if you're buying gold for your loved ones this Christmas, which is always smart, go to hughgold.com or simply text my name, Hugh, H-U-G-H, to 474747, and Birch Gold are the people to deal with. And that, by the way, is the best Christmas present. If you can afford it, give your kids, give your grandkids gold. Why? Because they won't spend it. They'll save it. They'll save it in the rainy day fund. It will not lose its value. Gold is trading this morning at $1,806, so it's lower than its $2,000 an ounce market point from just a couple of months ago. And I believe it's going to go back to that this year because of the inflationary pressures that will come once the virus is defeated, and it will be defeated. That's why the Dow went over 30,000 points yesterday. So, as we come into what will be, I believe, an inflationary period, it is very smart to own gold. Roll over a portion of your IRA or 401k into gold and do it with Birch Gold again. Go to hughgold.com or text my name, Hugh, to 474747. Yesterday, the Dow went to 30,000, and the reason is simple. The market is absorbing the facts of Operation Warp Speed. Now, I spent a long time on the phone yesterday with the families' toxicologist. Every family should have a doctor. We don't. We have a PhD toxicologist who has been developing drugs for 45 years, retired 2 years ago. So I spent an hour talking to the good doctor about what's going on out there. And he's just blunt. Operation Warp Speed is the most amazing thing he has ever seen in his scientific career. It usually takes 11 to 12 years to develop a drug. We have developed 3 critically necessary targeted drugs in 10 months. The astonishing scientific advance, he noted, is matched by a logistical march to excellence that is unparalleled in the history of medicine. Not only did these 3 drugs arrive from scratch, they have arrived and are ready to be distributed. Indeed, it is his belief that every frontline medical worker, every first responder, will have the opportunity to have the vaccine by the end of December. He believes that supplies are so large and pre-produced as much as possible to such an extent that they have got the ability to give a vaccine in America to everyone who needs a vaccine, who wants to get one, not everyone who needs one. We'll talk about that in a moment. Anyone who puts their hand up and says, I want Pfizer or Moderna or AstraZeneca, he believes that they will have that opportunity in America by the end of March. The first vaccines are being delivered in Ohio, according to Governor DeWine, in 2 weeks. And they are rolling out across the United States. I queried him, how did this happen? And he talked about the pre-production of vaccines on spec from both Pfizer and Moderna. And he credited Operation Warp Speed. He also credits, by the way, Donald Trump. He credits all the scientists. He credits everybody. He is himself a Trump supporter. He says about 80% of the people involved in the development of these drugs, the production of these drugs, the distribution of these drugs, are probably Biden supporters, the people with whom he's worked for all these years. But science is apolitical. There is no reason why they would. There's no reason that they could have delayed it. It got here as quickly as possible. And it's an extraordinary achievement, a history of science moment, something that people will be studying for centuries and centuries. The reason being we have never, as humankind, seen a disease arrive, target it, throw everything at it, and conquer it. We've never seen that before. And we've done it. Science has done it. The government has done it. The military has done it. You have done it by limiting the spread of the disease, though it is right now raging. That will begin to tide will turn in 2 weeks, and it will be out when 70% of America is vaccinated. Now, my retired toxicologist told me that is likely to be September, because even though it will be widely available for anyone who wants to get it, by the middle of March, many people will choose not to. I'm here to beg you, start making plans to get it. We need this to save the country, to save the world, to save lives. 500 lives a week. And we can do that and take our hats off to Donald Trump and Vice President Pence and every member of the task force and every scientist and executive at Pfizer and Moderna and AstraZeneca and everyone who's contributed to the logistics, the American military. It's just remarkable. That is why Dow hit 30,000. They realize, even though the shutdown will continue for another month or so and people are going to continue to use Amazon and Target and Costco and all those others because they don't want to go out until after they get the vaccine, it's here. It's real. And the news is sinking in. The other thing I want to tell you at the beginning of this is I have a new Washington Post column. You have to Google Hugh Hewitt and Washington Post, and the list of them will come up. The title is Why the Georgia Senate Runoffs Are Hugely Important for Rule of Law Conservatives. And I want you to hear it. Why does it matter so much that two rule of law conservatives, that Republican Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler win their January 5 runoffs in Georgia? Because control of the Senate depends on either Perdue or Loeffler beating Jon Ossoff or Raphael Warnock, their respective Democratic opponents. Both wins would be better, as that would mean a 52-48 GOP majority. If Perdue or Loeffler win, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell keeps his job. If Ossoff and Warnock both win, Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer becomes the Majority Leader. Liberals and leftists have been chagrined by Schumer's all-too-revealing exultation as he recently celebrated Joe Biden's election victory. Now we take Georgia, then we change America. If Schumer wins Senate control, he can indeed change America by beginning the undoing of the capstone achievement of McConnell's steady, disciplined 6 years as Majority Leader. Confirmation of 3 Supreme Court justices and 53 appeals court justices. Then Majority Leader Harry Reid in 2013 destroyed the filibuster as a check on radicalism in the judiciary. Under the pre-Reid rules, judicial nominees needed 60 votes to be confirmed. That threshold was abused by Democrats for many years. In early May of 2001, President George Bush made his first 11 nominations for the Federal Appeals Court. That group included future Supreme Court Justice John Roberts. It also included a previous nominee of President Bill Clinton, Roger Gregory, who had been placed on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit via a temporary recess appointment. Bush sought conciliation and consensus, and his gracious gesture of renominating Gregory was met by, scorn and obstruction. Reid and the then-ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Patrick Leahy, went into full opposition in 2001, though they did confirm Gregory. An opposition that became more effective when Jim Jeffords of Vermont switched parties. Democrats took control of the Senate and of the proceedings of the Judiciary Committee. The obstruction became a blockade. When Republicans took control in January of 2003, Leahy and Reid were back in the minority, and they used the old filibuster to keep many superb nominees from confirmation, including William Pryor, Miguel Estrada, Carolyn Kuhl. The obstruction became so absurd that then Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist threatened to use the nuclear option, a change of the Senate rules to a simple majority confirmation. Frist did not have to use that option because center-left Democrats led by Ben Nelson of Nebraska teamed up with John McCain and others to craft the Gang of 14. Well, my friends, what happened after that was Harry Reid used the nuclear option in 2013. And that means that if Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff win, they will begin to confirm radical left judges. The left side of the Democratic caucus wants to end the filibuster. They want to pack the Supreme Court. But Joe Manchin says that's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. Well, as the column argues, if Republicans hold the Senate, it's clear that those radical leftists that Joe Biden would otherwise put on the federal courts are not going to go there. If Mitch McConnell remains the majority leader, if David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler win, radical lawyers need not apply for lifetime appointments in robes. That, Georgia, is why you have to save the courts, the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the Second Amendment rights. In Georgia, you have to save the republic by voting for Perdue and Loeffler. Stay tuned, America. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show.